Fighting games in general lend themselves a fair bit to creativity and expression, not just in the gameplay, but the visuals too. Many games allow you to make your own colour palettes, maybe a costume for a character, or at the very least, will sport a ton of visual options to choose from. But sometimes, it doesn't end there. On a rare occasion, a fighting game will have a mode in place that lets the user create their own original character. Possibly the most standout example of this will belong to Soul Calibur and its Create a Soul mode, as it is often the franchise most people think about with fighting game character creation. Not mentioning the years and years of wrestling games, of course, but that really is a different kind of story, isn't it? Amidst all this, during the golden age of PlayStation 2 and original Xbox, Mortal Kombat Armageddon had its own Create a Fighter feature, where players can make their own fighter from the ground up and even finely tune which specials and attacks that they have in a match. Pretty cool for its time is an understatement, and it was something I relentlessly used as a kid. It was awesome. However, fast forward years and years where one often revisits these games with more of a competitive mindset. Broken does not even begin to describe this mode when you're looking at the high level side of Armageddon. Custom characters running rampant in the online netcode back in the day, infinites, unbreakable this or that, truly some abominations could be created that took an already broken game and made it even more so, on top of some little tips and tricks that you can do within the creator to have moves that you actually shouldn't have. You want to join me for today's video because things are gonna get really weird. So, let's start off by running through what Create a Fighter is here and how it works. On the visual side, you have all of the basic information first, then you can change the visuals as you see fit. You have a decent amount of options, but can't go into insane detail. The colour options are cool, as there's a fair few of them, and you can have some extra bits and bobs if you want them. You can make some cool looking characters, but they won't have the same level of detail that the main roster will have. When it comes to moves though, this is where it becomes the most interesting. You can name, choose the stance of both weapon and your hand-to-hand, on top of the weapon letting you choose between sword style or axe style. With the actual weapons themselves looking pretty different in style, axe will be the name, but you can use a club, hammer, machete, you get the idea. In a lot of cases, these weapons belong to existing characters, but you can give them to yourself too. Being able to choose the moves is where the Create a Fighter becomes as broken as it is. So honestly, the easiest way is to list all of the reasons and tick them off one by one. I recorded a bunch of various custom characters that I made for this video to show all of the necessary examples. So let's go! Fundamentally, there's a bunch of key moves in this game that characters have that make them quite powerful. Now, those moves will vary, but with the custom fighting styles that you have in the game, most of those moves are equipable for your custom character. This means that if you have an eye for what moves are so strong, you can equip them and use them in any order that you want. I guess the first thing to cover is the idea of free throws, which is something that MKD and MKA both have. Land a move with enough hit stun and recovery, and the opponent will be stuck in place, where a meaty throw is completely guaranteed. Reason being is because you can't tech throws in these games and they're unblockable. Most characters that get this will get some bonus damage, but with Create a Fighter, you can actually equip a throw that launches and sets up for a combo. The immediate applications are ridiculous here, because you can do much larger combos than the base roster can, and that's not even accounting for the crazy broken stuff that you can do with a few little tricks in mind that I'll cover in a bit. Free throws on Create a Fighter is absolutely ridiculous. Now, outside of even combos, MKA has busted single-hit buttons that, if you know what to look for, can be all yours. I think one of the standout examples here is Mocap's infamously strong low poke that deals 13% damage, likely because it was given uppercut damage incorrectly. That low poke exists in Create a Fighter, and still does 13% damage on hit. Needless to say, there's no reason you wouldn't take this button. Look for the perfect buttons that fit the meta of Armageddon to make your character even more busted, even in the general neutral. Maybe they give a mix-up. Maybe they'll give a free throw, as we discussed earlier. Go for absolute safety above all else, because safe moves are a luxury in this game. Basically, go nuts. Right, it's time to talk about one of the first exploits that you can use to make your character even better. When you're choosing your special moves, you have a decent amount of them, but not every single attack in the game. However, with a bug, you can give yourself more utility than you should have because, you know, it's Armageddon, why not? The one air special you can equip is a dive kick. This move is done by pressing down 3 in the air, and it's mega simple. However, here's what's weird. If you choose any of the other specials in this category, and then you go back into the move selector, hover over dive kick, but press 2 to cancel the menu, your chosen special will now have the input of down 3 and the air only property. This results in hilarious looking moves. Not all of them work in the air anyway, but most will simply be an airborne version that covers more space, gives more combo options, whatever. We'll be returning to this in a bit because it is a key element of making characters so broken. There is a ton of utility here. Keeping in line with the bugs that you can use to expand your move list, this one is arguably the most important of them all. When putting a string together, if you take a move and the string has more hits to go, you will be unable to use that move in future hits. Essentially, if your standing 1 is, let's say, Ninja Strikes, a button that belongs to Cyrax, the 1-1 and the 1-1-2 will be unable to have Ninja Strikes as it's already been equipped. However, if you construct the string in the reverse order, you can, for the most part, take any move that you wish in any order, allowing you to use the same attack more than once in a combo string. The effects of this are severe, because if you end a string with a move that has good juggle properties and fast recovery, you can stack up 2 fast and far-reaching punches beforehand, which gives you easily the most simple infinites any character can perform. Mustard used this with his custom character last year to showcase just how broken a character can be, and that cursed John style. You can use this in any way you want to make some hilarious looking combos or regular 3-hit strings. You can have some real fun with it, but the purpose of this video is to show off how broken it is, so infinites all day. If you can double up buttons that work for infinite combos and giving a free throw grounded, it's even better. Cyrax's Ninja Strikes is possibly the best punch to end a string with for this reason. Giant combos are obviously ridiculous, but you get given 3 breakers every match, so there are some ways to get around them. Until you've run out of breakers anyway, but what if we wanted to bypass that? The way I did just that was to take inspiration from Ermac and Jarek, as their weapon stances are identical and both feature Ermac's Deception Weapon Down 2 launcher, which can't be broken, for some reason. Both of these characters can use their Unbreakable Weapon Down 2 to get more unbreakable damage. For Ermac, it's down 2 into lift, and for Jarek, it's down 2 into flying kick into ground pound. All of that is unbreakable. But with the Creator Fighter, you can do the exact same thing, but give yourself other unbreakable moves to get the same effect. I used the Axe style, I gave myself the down 2 which can't be broken, and I combined Fujin's Unbreakable Wind Lift and his Unbreakable Wind Charge, but I used the air version of the charge via the bug that I mentioned earlier in this video. You end up with the exact same effect, about 40% or so unbreakable damage in a lot of cases. But if you use the reverse string creation exploit to give yourself the 3-punch string that Jarek and Ermac have, you actually get a free throw and the ability to continue juggles really well. You're not supposed to be able to make this string, but building it in reverse, you can loop the same punch 3 times in a row. So let's say you've hit the 3-hit into a free throw, which launches, then you can do down 2, Unbreakable Wind Lift, Unbreakable Air Wind Charge. The only chance you have to break here is the first few hits, otherwise you can't do anything. If they're out of breakers and these connect, well, you can just infinite with your hand to hand. On a casual level, Create a Fighter was really fun. Most of us could make custom characters, maybe a variation of an existing character or something. The usual stuff, I guess, when people have this kind of tool at their disposal. But if you wanted to be annoying with it, you could craft the perfect character that would take even the strongest characters in the base roster and give them a run for their money, which, trust me, in Armageddon is saying a lot. You could use custom creations online, so that was obviously a headache in itself. How much the terrible netcode affected that is always up in the air, as old GameSpy servers were not the greatest for these games, but the point remained that many who played the online era of PS2 have often said to me that this was something you encountered quite often, so that can't be too fun. Now, I've merely scratched the surface in today's video because this game has so much broken tech that you can take from the base roster and apply it to your own creation in even more busted ways. But the characters that I've made today showcase a lot of the tech from characters that I already know how to use. There's gotta be tons more to be found and exploited, and that really is what Create a Fighter is all about if you play it in 2022 using emulation or something. Thank you so much for watching this video, I appreciate your time as always, and well, holy crap, that Noob Saibot history video seemed to blow up, so if anyone on this channel is new from watching that, welcome, and enjoy a ton more Mortal Kombat to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.